Warm greetings from the high 10s, Everyday Shenanigans. Thanks for joining me. Happy August to everyone. Well, there's more gossip brewing in the queue. I'm a little late on some of it because I have better things to do than talk about these people every day, because in the end they have nothing to do with the disappearance of Summer Wells, to my knowledge, or verification from law enforcement. So here we go. Allie. They're playing audio in the queue, different networks, pertaining to a conversation you had with someone who divulged the conversation. You should know they're going to do that anyway, but that's beside the point. Why were your kids taken away? Why were your kids taken away? How many kids do you actually have? I'm curious. I never got a count to how many kids Allie has. I never got really a verification of anything pertaining to Allie. Do you live with your mother or not? If you were living with your mother and your children, why was that? Why didn't you have your own home, apartment, condo, subsidized housing, HUD house, Habitat house, whichsoever, shack, shed, trailer? It was said that your mother had custody of your children. Was that true before the children got removed? And why would the children be removed from the mother, the alleged grandmother? See, this is what is so confusing. Last year, you all were hooping and hollering that the grandmother, the one with the bun, we'll call her Bunny. Bunny had the kids. Now you're saying Allison doesn't have custody. Well, she didn't have custody last year, if that rumor was true. So what is the truth pertaining to these side pieces, extraterrestrials? I'm tired of talking about them. I'm tired of hearing about them. And you all are so enthralled with absolutely nothing, because these people aren't talking about anything. They're irrelevant. They are a non-motherfucking factor, and that's just the truth. And you all don't seem to see the correlation between all these side pieces, extraterrestrials. They're all similar to Candace Bly and Donald Wells. Is everybody woke listening? They're all similar. They all have drama. They all have trauma. It's always something about substance abuse, alcohol abuse, extra parties, entanglements, sexual partners, this and that. Children being abused, neglected, not being watched in foster care, detention centers. Don't you see the similarities with all these people? 6 degrees of separation, and all these people meet up somehow in the universe from different parts of the country, each party, but yet they all meet up and are like minds. That's why they hung with each other, because they're similar. That's why Allie could never talk about Candace. Candace can't say anything about Allie. Don either. They're all similar. Drunks, addicts, pill poppers, vapors, whatever you want to call them. Cokeheads, heroin addicts, all the same to me. People who have no direction. They have nothing to do. They don't go anywhere. They don't do anything. They're not a vital part of the community. They don't do nothing but do what they're doing right here, giving you all 5 minutes of BS, $2 conversation. Conversation you can go pick up at the Piggly Wiggly. And some of you are so immersed into this, I don't see why some of you all just don't hang at the Piggly Wiggly. And you could just stand outside, listen at the people bicker, watch their children walk around with no shoes on, dirty faces, dirty hair, walk around, half naked. Mommy, Daddy, I want a popsicle. You can get that at the Piggly Wiggly. You can get it at most Walmarts. You don't need YouTube for that. These people are vile. They're ridiculous. So what is the 411 pertaining to Allie and her children? Did she ever have custody of her children? If not, who had sole custody of her children? Did she lose custody of her children this time? Where are her children right now as of August 1st, 2022? Because this is contradictory to the mother, Bun Bun, having the kids if she lost custody. So you mean Bun Bun lost custody? Are you all woke? Because I'm utterly confused. That's why I don't listen to this stuff. Because every few months, something changes in the story, the narrative pertaining to these dodo birds. And then you have to backtrack to what somebody, Pookie, Ray Ray, Bubba, Susie May said. And it's like, oh, but that's not what the rumor was. This is why you don't listen to the rumors. But some of you can't understand that because you're so immersed in something that has nothing to do with this child. You have no verification that Allie has anything to do with the disappearance of Summer Wells. We don't have verification that H has anything to do with this child's disappearance. Don't you think by now he would have said something? Don't you think by now somebody would have been indicted? Why should he carry the load of something that happened on that day? Why should he take up for this woman? So now what are you saying? He's what? Intimidated by Candace? He's scared of her? What? This child acts out. I doubt that he's scared of her. I doubt that he's intimidated by her. So I'm kind of backtracking here. On that fateful day, I think they were up to no good, whatever that was. Smoking, drinking, touching. I don't know, because I don't want to put that out there pertaining to a child and a grown-up. But whatever went on, I think she wanted to make sure when she doubled back a day or so later to his home, she just wanted to make sure he hadn't been talking, telling authorities anything that could get her into trouble. As far as Allie, she made commentary at the end of this audio that she misses her children. And then the person who's talking to her, I don't know who the hell they are, when they asked her at first, what was wrong? My thing is, if you know her situation, why would you ask her what's wrong? See, this is why I keep telling you all. All this is just for show. All these conversations, all these so-called interviews, leaked audios, these people just do stuff for show. Do stuff because they have nothing better to do. You see, this is my message to Allie and any other nimwit such as herself, Candace, and any other bobbleheads that become a YouTube video / news story. The time you spend drinking, the time you spend getting high off of drugs, narcotics, pills, whatever it is, your drug of choice, you could be doing something with your life, such as obtaining a college degree, a trade, 2-year degree, something. You could be minding your children, watching your children, loving your children, caring for your children, making sure your children are in a safe environment, making sure your children grow up with manners, making sure your children know that you care about them, making sure they're clean, making sure they go to school, they're getting their education, they're learning something, introducing them into different things going on in the world, such as school books, art, entertainment, sports. Be engaged. But see, with these people, they can't be engaged because they have other things on their minds, such as, sexual entanglements, getting high, drinking, buying, $2 pizzas at the Piggly Wiggly and the Dollar General. Their focus is non-focused. So that's the message today. To all these crazy hillbillies, mind your children. They didn't ask to be here. They didn't send for you. And they sure as hell didn't step into a Walmart line and ask for you to be their damn parents. So why don't you just step up and be a damn parent? If you can't, then hand the baton over to somebody else. It is time for you people to stop making excuses for what is going on in your household. You can't keep blaming everybody else, because now people are going to say, well, what happened now? So Allie, tell us what happened. Why don't you have your children? Why don't you have custody of your children? Why don't you have your own place? Because I never heard that you had your own place, your own car. Do you even have an automobile? Do you actually work full-time? Do you have a full-time job? Do you have direct deposit? Do you have money going into a bank account from a job? Because this makes no sense, these wind-up damn stories. These Build-A-Bear stories, I'm sick of them. It's every day in the queue, crazy nonsense with Americans not doing right by their children, getting tangled up with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, chasing behind low-life ass men, putting men before their children, putting everything before their children. And then they become a YouTube wannabe sensation because a child goes missing. Then they start talking to all these random YouTubers. Then they go get to their own channel. Then they're jumping on people's panels. It's just nonsense. You people need to stay focused. You should be tired of people talking about you. But see, this shows me that you're lonely. You're a lonely vessel, like so many other people out here who are self-destructive. And you will be surprised at the people who actually have decent jobs, homes, nice cars, but they're just as self-destructive as these people here who are barely living. And I think some of you probably know some people like that. Some of you out there are like this. I can tell by some of your commentary, comments. This is your focus. All of this YouTube madness, jumping from box to box, repeating what Pookie said, Ray said with no verification. Oh, but they got it over here. They got a receipt. No, they don't. I'm going to tell you why nobody has a receipt to anything. Because Summer Wells is still missing. Bingo card. So nobody has a damn receipt to nothing. All you have is a bunch of hillbillies running around giving their version pertaining to Job, Noah, Hezekiah, blah, blah, blah. What he did, what she did, what I did. You don't even know what's the truth. And now it's all mumble jumble. And I'm sick of hearing it. It's just sickening to me. But somebody will ask me, did you hear? Did you know? Blah, blah, blah. So I kindly reply. So that's basically what this video is. A reply to the nonsense in the queue. Allie, get your shit together. Stop talking to YouTubers. Stop being on social media. Find you something to do. Find a focus in life. Find new friends. Go to church. Go meet you some new people at church. Go join a nonprofit. Go find something to do in the community. All those nice little towns up through there, Johnson City, Bristol, Virginia, Bristol, Tennessee, Greenville, Kingsport, all these nice places that you could be mingling with people that are successful, they're vibrant, they're doing something in the community. Why don't you go mingle with those type of people? I don't get you people. Why you refuse to go out into the world and mingle with decent people doing stuff that's productive, conducive to positive living. That's the message. Go do something positive. This is the reason why these stories just go on and on and on, which have nothing to do with this child missing. Just a bunch of crazy people with nothing to do, nothing to focus on. And you all are running in behind them, chasing in behind them like jackrabbits into a hole, a deep hole, that if you keep on running in that hole, your ass is going to be down there and can't climb your ass back out of there. These people aren't talking about anything. And what you all are seeing not to focus on is that these are children that are caught up in this drama. This sick story about a child missing, knowing the child, having wayward parents, people who are not focused on them. That's the sick part of this story. These are real children who are becoming statistics because their parents are wayward. They have idle minds. And if they don't get their SHIT together, these parents, their children could end up missing. Because if you're not watching your child, they can end up anywhere. Wrong company, wrong car, anything. Get it together. Give YouTube a break, Allie. Because I got a message for your little friend here in a minute. Same video for her too. Candace Bly. Go find yourself something positive to do. Be a role model to your children, for your children. Be somebody they can look up to. Not a YouTube story, a YouTube headliner. I would be ashamed to see myself sitting up in a video cut out, because don't think it hasn't happened. But my belly ain't been showing. My navel ain't been showing, because Queen don't rock that way. Walking around, wife beater, no brassiere, hell to the no. You should have more pride in yourself. I don't give a damn if you're 300 pounds, if you're 150 pounds. A woman should have pride in herself. As I said, be a role model to and for your children. Be somebody your children can look up to say, hey, that's my mom. I'm proud of her. She's doing good deeds in the world. She's a great mom. She cares about us. She loves us. She watches over us. She makes sure we have everything we need. Why can't you be that mom? Instead, your YouTube story, your YouTube video, endless videos in the queue. Because you happen to know a child that went missing. You hung with her mother. You hung around the child sometime or another. Her mother as well, the grandmother, Grandis. But in the end, none of you have the key to where Summer Wells is. And that's the sick part of the story. He said, you all have become sideshows, extraterrestrials pertaining to a little girl missing. And it's sickening and it's disturbing and it needs to stop because it's out of control now. This story is so dead. It's just dead. For whatever reason, it's just dead. And these people make it worse. They make it worse. And they show us why Summer is missing. Because the parents were wayward. They never cared about their children. And they went out in the street and hung with other people who are just as wayward. And now you have a news story / YouTube videos off some random people who don't give a damn about anything. Allie, go get yourself together. Go find you a place to live with your name on the lease, the deed. Go get your car in your own name. Go find you somebody to date, a decent guy. And focus also on your children if you can. Maybe the guy should be last. But my God, go mingle with some decent people that are talking about something and moving and shaking in the world. Because I think you need better company. And you need to take your focus off of the YouTube. You and Candace both. It's time to find something else to focus on. Because your children are suffering. Your friend Candace don't have any of her children. And one could possibly be dead. So you should be opening your eyes to see you need to get your shit together too. It's time. It's time. As far as your mother, I don't even know what to say about that either. Because as I said, if she didn't have custody of your children, then what the hell's been going on this whole time? And where are the children? And why were they removed? And who are you harassing? See, you don't have any focus. That's why that audio was leaked. Somebody who else didn't have shit else to do with their time. Leaking out your personal conversations and business. And you've got all these irons in the fire. Children not in your custody, allegedly. Don't have nothing to show from living your own home, car, possibly job. I don't know if you work or not. Don't really care. Because in the end, it won't even matter. Something's off with this, he said, she said, about you not having your kids. Because what I don't understand is, if somebody you know has the kids or another family member has your children, how would that make any sense when your mother allegedly had your children or allegedly had custody? So what are we saying? You were just living with your mother and your children were living there too? And people just assume your mother had custody? I'm confused. This is the reason why it's not even worth talking about. Because you're not going to get to the truth unless you actually have a piece of paper that shows who actually has custody of the kids. And in the end, I feel sorry for her children. Just like I feel sorry for the Wells children. I feel sorry for those children out west. Bakersfield. It's all the same. Children going into the system because their parents are jacked up. See, you all need to focus on the seriousness of these situations. The children are the ones that are suffering. The children are suffering. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this network, Everyday Shenanigans, $sign Big Angie, 129, Cash App. Next live is pertaining to Candace Bly. Thank you for joining me.